the people who run the event would take those 100 players and actually do a whole bunch of stuff with set up the starting times and enter scores and do a whole lot of processing on the side. So it's definitely, aside from the CRM. But the fact that
I think you're going to need a combination of regular Salesforce licenses and community licenses. And Salesforce does community licenses in two different ways. You can either get a named user license, or you can get a bulk number based on login. It's like, how many people are logging in, and it's not necessarily named user license. What I would recommend is reach out to the foundation rep, because they're going to be the one who are going to be able to help you much better than any of us can.
Okay. All right, I'll try that. Thank you.
Yep. Just to add in about the first part of your question is the authenticated web user was something that you could do previously with the portals, and now I think, as Deepa suggested, it's moved on to the communities, and that's one of the answers that you can take a look at.
Okay, thanks.
Next question.
All right, thanks, guys. All right, next question we actually have in the chat here is from Jennifer. Her question is, how can we view and interact with Chatter Answers Q&A tab within Salesforce? Currently, I click on the tab, but get insufficient privileges. Any other information you want to provide there, Jennifer?
Sure, and I apologize, I don't have a whole lot of details on it. We're working on setting up a customer community. So we have a current partner community, but we're looking to launch the Chatter Answers or the Q&A for our customer community, and we want our internal people to be able to interact with it within their regular Salesforce instead of having to log into the community and interact with it that way. And we can't find, so far the team has not been able to find anything to indicate the piece that we're missing to allow the internal use. And I didn't know if...
Are you saying you want to see the tab within Salesforce without having to log into the community? Like when you turn on communities, you have a black bar, and in order to go to the answers that's open to the public, you have to click on that community to log into that. Are you saying you don't want to do that?
I was hoping there was a way that we didn't have to have the internal team use that, click on customer, go to the Q&A tab, and interact with it that way. I was hoping there was another...
I'm not so sure that that's doable.
Okay.
Because I know,
I was thinking it would be like Ideas, where we can work with Ideas within our internal application without having to go into the community.
Yeah, but that idea stays within your internal Salesforce org. It's not publicly exposed to the community. Anybody else want to jump in? Any other MVPs?
Just to double check, just see if, when you're using the communities, you usually have them as contacts. So just check if your internal users have the Chatter Answers enabled for their user, and check if they can access from there.
Okay, so they should not have to have a community login. There should be something on just their regular user license.
You will find that on their user to see that the Chatter and they're enabled for Chatter Answers. So just check if that is there on their profile.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine right now, and I don't see it, but we will investigate that. Okay, thank you.
Awesome, thanks, Shiv. All right, so next question here is another one from John Reed here in the chat. Let's see. Many email alerts that are not used by any workflow roles. Any risk in deleting them? Any MVPs want to take that?
If they're not utilized in any workflow rules, the template is going to stay there. So if you don't delete the template, you can reuse the template. And if you're not going to utilize the email alerts again, there's no risk in deleting them. You have to make doubly sure that they're not involved in any of the workflows.
Yeah, and make sure from the template perspective, if you're considering moving the template, if you've got any development around that as well, code can query into the email template and use that to actually do a merge from any emails that's sent from code.
Awesome. There you go. All right. Who? No other questions in the chat. Does anybody want to speak up the question?
Hey, Jared. This is Aaron. I'm going to bounce back to the chatter answers question just to double check. Has your team? Forgive me. I believe your name is Jen. Has your team reviewed the chatter answers implementation guide to make sure everything's been enabled appropriately?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay.
As we thought maybe we were missing something hidden that wasn't allowing us to use it. But we'll look at it again.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Who else?
Guys, I just have an update. This is Alan Waltmeyer. Somebody had asked about workflow rules, basically being able to see the field updates. And I'm noticing that Octopus does not give that visibility. It does create a pretty nice list, but basically just does name the table it's or the object it's associated with, and whether it's active, last modified date.
Awesome. Thanks for that. All right. Who else? Who else has a question? Don't be shy. Got a great group of MVPs on this morning, so.
Hey, while I'm at it, a question for Steve Moe. I have been looking around because I don't want to duplicate an idea, but been looking around for an idea that relates to being able to filter dashboard components individually, let's say on date. And there's an idea out there by Scott Hemmeter, don't know if I'm saying that right, the map guy. And it says it's been delivered. It says allow dashboard components to pass filters to reports, but that's not available as far as I know, right? Like let's say I want one report, and then I go into the dashboard component and would like to see the last 90 days, 180 days, or 365 days. Just kind of wanted to check before I throw an idea out there.
Dashboards have some filtering, but not what you described. And like when you say individual, did I hear you correctly when you said individual components? So like you could have a dashboard that's like a 3x3, and for like, one individual component or maybe a column or a row of components, you would apply the filter to only that segment of the dashboard.
Or that component specifically. So if I wanted,
that's not, as far as I know, that's not available. It does sound like a great idea.
Great.
And I'm not even sure if you can. I don't even know if you can.
So I'm thinking, for example, the use case would be, I've got one report that maybe looks back an entire year.
Yeah.
The last year, and then I want to see it three different. I want to slice it three different ways.
Yeah. So you don't want to have three reports with a 365, 180, and then 30 or 90 filter on it, and have to maintain three reports. You'd like to have one report displayed, just the same way you can do with a dashboard. I mean, you have one report, you can display it as a pie, you can display it as a bar, you can display it as a funnel.
Yep.
One report that you only have to maintain, but you would like to see, pie, or bar, but it's the filter criteria that's different. That's not possible right now, but it does sound like a great idea because it would cut down on the number of reports that an admin needs to maintain. Absolutely. I mean, for that reason you just described, you do need 3 reports to do it.
I'll make sure to post it to your group when I get it posted out there.
Yeah, I definitely vote that up.
All right. Thanks.
Awesome. All right, who wants to go next? Don't be shy. I'll start calling on people. Hey there. Yeah. What about Amy? You have any questions you'd like to ask the MVP, or
I'm
just
here to
listening in?
Yeah, I'm just here to get a flavor of what this is about. This is my first hours.
Awesome.
I'll call school right now.
I'll be sure to come with a question next time.
No worries. You're always welcome to listen in.
Okay.
Let's see here.
You missed Heather.
Wait, got another question here. All right.
Hey, Jared, is all that noise in your background or is somebody off mute?
No, it's somebody else's. I'm trying to figure out who it is.
Whoever just got an incoming phone call.
All right, so looks like it's gone. So we'll go to this next question in the chat from Alfredo. Have a use case where one company has 10 separate business units. Each business unit has their own sales territory structure, and accounts can belong to one or many territories. I believe I can enable sales rep from business unit 1 to assign tasks and opportunities to a sales rep from business unit 2. The issue is that sales reps from one business unit should not be able to see opportunities from another business unit. Any advice? Anybody want to take a stab at that one?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So Alfredo has a use case where one company has 10 business units, and each business unit has their own sales territory structure, and accounts can belong to one or many territories. He believes he can enable sales reps from each business unit or from business unit 1 to assign tasks and opportunities to the sales rep from business unit 2. The problem is that sales reps from one business unit should not be able to see opportunities from another business unit. Any advice?
So you're assigning tasks on an opportunity that doesn't belong to one person?
Well, yeah, I think it sounds twofold, that they can't see the opportunities.
Did you say they should not be able to, or they can't? Because tasks are like tasks when they're assigned to an opportunity, it rolls up to the account and you have visibility on the account. You're going to have visibility on the opportunity unless you're doing sharing rules. So what you do is you keep opportunities private, and you have to do sharing rules on who can share the opportunities. So once you share the opportunities, or once you assign a task, the opportunity record is going to become visible. So I'm still trying to understand what the problem is here.
Yeah, so it's not tasks on. It doesn't sound like it's tasks on opportunities. It sounds like it's just tasks in general, and then being able to assign an opportunity. So essentially, moving an opportunity from one territory to another, and then no longer being able to see that opportunity.
I'm not so sure how to answer this. That's one of those where I need to see like a picture.
Yeah. So if I'm reading it right, Alfredo, and feel free to jump in here on the audio, but it sounds to me like kind of what Deepa was getting at. As long as you made opportunities private and then opened it up with sharing rules to the individual business units, that would prevent any visibility where people shouldn't be able to see things. Does that kind of help answer your question?
Yes, thank you. It helps. It's just that the opportunities they should be created by one business unit, and once they transfer the opportunity to the second business unit, the first business unit should not be able to see it any longer.
Yeah, and that's what the sharing rules would do, right? So if I transferred
how do you transfer the opportunity? Are you actually changing the opportunity owner?
Yes.
Okay, but that's the person, the user in that business unit still created that opportunity. So you need proper sharing rules that only, because the sharing rules are also designed on who the record owner is. So you need to have opportunity privates and then have sharing rules to make sure that, only the person who owns the opportunity can see it in that account, not anybody else.
Yep, yeah, so exactly, yeah. And that way, whenever you change the owner, right, then the sharing rules are going to recalculate on that opportunity, and it would no longer be visible.
All right, so based on the ownership, then the opportunity creator won't have visibility if I create the proper sharing rules, right?
Correct. And so
yes.
Even though you're sharing the account, when you create the sharing rules, there's options to say only the creator can see, there's multiple options on who can view the opportunity. So take a look at, I think sharing rules is going to solve your problem.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome, yeah, no problem. All right. Oh, we have another question that just came in the chat here, so let me take a look at this and then read it off. All right, so Velma has a question on some of the same lines with opportunities. They have opportunities that are split. One rep may have the client/advertiser, and another rep will have the agency. Currently, they are entering the opportunity twice, with the client as the account and the agency contact as the contact. Is there a better way to manage these?
Have you looked at the opportunity split? Have you turned that feature on?
No, we can do that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Opportunity. You're on. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're enterprise or a professional. There's a feature for opportunity splits, and what you do is you put the second rep, so you have one rep who owns the opportunity, and then you add all the additional people on the sales team or the opportunity sales team, and then that will allow you to do splits and set up and say, okay, so-and-so has 80%, the other person has 20%, or even there's an overlay, and then you can do forecasting on the splits. You can set up there's also, like when you go to forecasting, you can set up 4 different forecast types, and one of them can be opportunity splits forecast.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm a very new user, so where would I find the opportunity split to enable it?
Yeah, so it's actually underneath in setup, customize, opportunities, and then it's a sub-tab under, or a sub-setting under opportunities called opportunity splits. You just need to go down to, and then there's settings. And from within settings, you can then activate and you can create different split types.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
You're welcome.
Are you using opportunity products?
What do you mean by opportunity products?
Are you using products at all?
Yes. We have a whole list of products. There's 84.
Okay, so I mean that would be another aspect of it would be that the ability to break the opportunity out into the separate components too.
Okay.
Awesome. But yeah, opportunity splits is definitely that's going to be the best way to handle what you're trying to do.
That's awesome. That's going to make things much easier here.
They've improved it so much now. Like even when you go into forecasting and you look at the opportunity, and when you hover over the split, you can see who's the other person that the opportunity is split with. It's really cool. It's really, really, really cool.
Very cool. I think I'm going to play with that as soon as we're done.
Okay. You know what I would suggest? Are you an enterprise or professional?
Enterprise.
Okay. Go play in the sandbox. Have at it.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. All right. Who's next? If we don't have any other questions, we can always give people back time in their day.
Hey, Jared, this is Aaron. I actually have a question about a question I just answered on Answers. I want to make sure that there's not something I'm missing, but has anyone figured out a way, aside from using an Apex trigger, to trigger email notifications when tasks are loaded in with the data loader? So that little send notification email checkbox is not exposed, well, to my knowledge, is not exposed in data loader.
Good question. I do not. Any of the other MVPs?
I've never had to do that, but wouldn't a workflow rule help that you kick it off only when you're adding records as a system admin?
Yeah, I think a workflow rule would be a nice workaround. I think what this person wants is like how you in the UI you can create one, and there's the little checkbox that you can check that when you save it'll notify if you've assigned it to someone else. They want to just use the same functionality. They just can't figure out how to trigger it from data loader, which I found out to my research is not possible. I just wondered if someone had a workaround. And I think the workflow rule probably is the workaround. It would just then be changing the business process so that they're not duplicating email alerts. If somebody, if they're in the habit of checking the box today, if they check the box, they're going to get 2 email alerts because the workflow rule is always going to fire.
No, that is why when you build the workflow rule, you set up like, okay, if only when so-and-so is importing it, although I don't know.
Yeah, so basically
There
you're
has
saying
to be some criteria to not have it go in twice. Yeah.
like system admin profile.
Yep.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Cool.
Jared, did I just hijack your MVP office hour?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to make sure that everybody else has their chance and not just be blabbermouthing here.
Anybody else have any questions?
If not,
Sorry. This is Marty. I got dropped while the previous person was still talking about the task question. Was that resolved?
Yeah.
Nope.
So, hey, Marty, it's Aaron Duran, fellow MVP. We were just talking about Deep has suggested a workaround with a workflow rule, and then just either changing the business process to no longer check the box and just rely on the workflow, or write the workflow in a way that it only fires if, say, a system administrator profiled user, because they would be the one who'd be creating the task through the data loader. So it would fire the workflow for that, but if the business process is manually create the task and check the box, it wouldn't duplicate efforts or duplicate notification.
Okay. Cool. I was just curious if I guess it probably wouldn't make so much sense if you're loading directly into the task object, but there's an email header DML option that, at least according to the documentation, would trigger the kind of like I believe that's the checkbox. The checkbox in the UI corresponds to this DML option when someone actually goes and creates a task.
And is that accessible through the data loader?
Yeah, I don't think that's accessible through a data loader, so may not be directly relevant to this particular case. But
yeah, because I actually found a Stack Exchange response to a very similar question that referenced what you're talking about. I think was writing a trigger to use that.
Yeah.
Check the box.
Yeah, because yep. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I could see that the trigger would probably go through and set that for all of the records. Okay, no, that's cool. Just want to follow up. Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Unless
anybody
any
else
time
has,
for additional questions?
Yeah, we have like 11 minutes left. If anybody else has any questions. All right. Well, if nobody else has any questions, we'll give people time back in their day, a whole whopping 11 minutes. So thanks, everyone, for joining. Thank you, MVPs, for jumping on and helping out. As always, let us know what feedback you guys have so we can make this as useful as possible. And then the last thing I'll say is, in case you missed it, we are launching an EMEA and APAC MVP office hours. We are also going to, which that one is going to be here next Friday, actually, and Shiv is helping lead that. So thanks to him for that. And then we're also starting one towards the end of the month. We're going to be starting a Spanish-speaking MVP office hours. So that one should be pretty awesome as well. And we have Carolina Ruiz, who's an MVP over in Spain. She kind of floats around, but she'll be leading that one. So pretty awesome stuff. But like I said, thanks for joining. Everyone have a good weekend, and we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.